we talking about today? I found about one of my friends, not friends, acquaintance who I met during my time in previous crypto company, and they worked at Hyperlane. I'm really curious. Hyperlane always had a good branding, so I'm curious what they are up to now, and also what exactly do they do? Let's see. I think yeah, this is the Hyperlane we're talking about. It seems like you're asking about Hyperlane. Alright, the first one. Hyperlane is an open permissionless interoperability framework designed to connect different blockchain networks, enabling seamless communication and asset transfers across them. Think of it as a bridge that lets blockchain talk to each other without needing a middleman. It's particularly focused on the modular blockchain ecosystem. Chains like Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, and rollups like Arbitrum or Optimism, where each network might have its own rules and tech. Hyperlane lets developers deploy it anywhere, connecting their apps or chains to over 50 networks and growing as of late 24. Yes, tell me all about Hyperlane. The blockchain company. All right, let's dive into it. Fascinatingly, in the world of blockchain interoperability built from the ground up to connect disparate blockchain networks in a seamless, permissionless, and customizable way. Founded in 2022 by a team with deep roots in the crypto space, its headquartered in New York, though some sources mention Greenwich, Connecticut, likely a reflection of its evolving presence. Okay. The company operates under the name Abacus Works, which is the core development team driving Hyperlane's tech. Here's everything you need to know, broken down into the key pieces. What Hyperlane does. Hyperlane is an open, permissionless interoperability framework designed to bridge the gaps between blockchains. Think of it as a universal translator for the fragmented world of layer ones, rollups, and app chains. Its mission to make it so that developers and users don't have to care about which chain they are on. This is the most important problem right now. I think when you start using ChatGPT and you have this drop down of options, this drop down menu of options that, oh, which model do you want? 4.0, 3.5, 4.0 mini, 4.0 turbo, 4.0 pro. That reminds people of the same confusion when using all these chains. Just the presence of all these chains. Like, hey, for me, I just need to get work done. I don't care whether 4.0 responds to me or 3.5 responds to me. I just want good response. That's it, right? Like, users don't care about all these complexity. Its mission to make it so that developers and users don't have to care about which chain they are on. Assets, data, and applications should just work across them all. It's particularly tuned for the modular blockchain ecosystem where networks like Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, and specialized rollups need to talk to each other. The core of Hyperlane is its messaging protocol. It lets developers send arbitrary data like tokens, function calls, or app-specific instructions between chains with a simple smart contract call. For example, Alice on Ethereum could ping Bob. This is the classic any blockchain example, Alice and Bob. Alice on Ethereum could ping Bob on Avalanche, no middleman required. This isn't just about moving tokens, though it does that as well. It's about enabling full-on interchain applications, think DeFi, platforms, games, or governance systems that span multiple chains natively. How it works. Tech revolves around a few key components, mailboxes. These are smart contracts deployed on each supported chain, acting as messaging hubs. They handle sending, receiving, and verifying cross-chain messages. Each message gets a unique ID and nonce to prevent duplicates or replay attacks. These are smart contracts deployed on each supported chain, acting as messaging hubs. They handle sending, receiving, and verifying cross-chain messages. Each message gets a unique ID and nonce to prevent duplicates or replay attacks. Interchain security modules, ISMs. This is where Hyperlane gets spicy. Developers can pick or customize how messages are verified using their own validators, third-party systems like multisigs, or even economic security models tied to staking. It's modular so you are not logged into one rigid security setup. Hmm. Interchain security modules. This is where Hyperlane gets spicy. Developers can pick or customize how messages are verified using their own validators, third party systems like multisigs, or even economic security models tied to staking. It's modular so you are not logged into one rigid security setup. Warp routes, a slick feature for token bridging, fast, low slippage transfers of ERC20s or NFTs between chains. You can even generate yield or set custom fees on these routes. Interchain gas payments. A user friendly touch, Hyperlane automates gas fees for cross chain actions, so users don't have to manually fund every hop. Mm. Automates gas fees. Don't have to manually fund every hop. It's chain agnostic, meaning it doesn't care if you're on EVM based chain Solana's SVM or something bespoke like Cadena. As of now, it supports over 50 networks, including heavy hitters like Solana, zk Sync, and Cosmos, plus newer ecosystems like Sonic, SPM, and Hyperliquid's Hyper EVM. You can deploy Hyperlane anywhere, anytime without begging a central authority for permission, hence the permissionless tagline. The team and backing. Co-founded by John Cole, Asa Owens, and Nam Chu Huai. Cole previously co-led venture investments at Galaxy Digital, while the others were early engineers at Cello, a blockchain focused on mobile first DeFi. Hmm. Actually didn't know like this was I just thought Cello was just another L1, but this is their main specialty. It's a mobile first DeFi. Or it's focused on mobile first DeFi. Their experience shows they are not newbies fumbling around. They have got chops in both tech and crypto finance. In September 22, Hyperlane raised 18.5 million in a seed round led by Variant, a crypto-focused VC firm. Big names like Galaxy, CoinFin, Circle, Kraken, Figment, Block, Damon, and NFX. NFX jumped into. It's really cool. Like NFX is jumping into some of these most important. Their entire concept is network effects. So they are jumping into every crypto that is around that concept, signaling serious industry trust. The cash went toward hiring product development and security like bug bounties and audits from firms like Trail of Bits and Zelic. Advisors include Morgan Beller, co-creator of Facebook's DM, and Zaki, Cosmos co-creator, adding extra gravitas. Morgan Beller, co-creator of Facebook's DM. Okay. What's a big deal? Blockchains are silos. Your Ethereum tokens don't naturally play nice with Solana or a random roll-up. Hyperlane's pitches to erase those boundaries. It's not the only interoperability game in town. Wormhole and Layer Zero are competitors, but Hyperlane stands out. Wormhole and Layer Zero. Layer Zero is a Vancouver-based company. One of my friends work there. But Hyperlane stands out with its permissionless nature. Anyone can deploy it, no gatekeepers. Contrast that with Wormhole, which often requires integration lobbying. Modularity, the ISM flexibility lets devs tailor security to their app's risk profile, unlike one size fits all solutions. Scalability, it's built for a future with hundreds of chains, not just today's handful. Use cases, it powers token bridges, Sonic, SPM's native bridge, cross chain gaming like Treasures, expansion, and even wild stuff like Bidden Source, EVM, Interop, or Caldera's meta layer, a framework linking hundreds of rollups. Postonics from early 25 highlighted its momentum, bridging Hyperliquids, Hyper EVM, supporting Solana chain extensions, and more. The token question. Here's the catch, no Hyperlane token exists yet. There's buzz about a potential airdrop, especially since rivals like Wormhole rewarded early users. CryptoRank speculated that farming Hyperlane's mainnet, minting NFTs, bridging assets, or using its apps might position users for a future drop, but it's unconfirmed. The team's focused on tech over token hype so far, which might mean they're playing a long game. Challenges and competition. Not a smooth sailing, not all smooth sailing. Interoperability is a crowded space. Layer Zero's got its omni-chain angle, XLR's pushing Web3 connectivity, and Wormhole's got name recognition. Hyperlane's permissionless edge is cool, but it relies on devs adopting its security Security is only as strong as the ISMs they configure. A misstep there could spook users, plus its smaller brother status, as 1x user put it, means it's still proving itself against the big dogs. Hmm. Smaller brother status. Against what? Layer 0? Hyperlane's a bold bet on a multi chain future. It's less about being a blockchain itself and more about being the glue that holds them together. With the 18.5 million in the bank, a sharp team and integrations popping off, 140 plus chains and counting, it's got momentum. It's got momentum. Alright, let's see. What do we have? Gelato. Deploy anywhere, permissionlessly launch cross chain messaging. No bottlenecks. Build interchain apps your way without waiting on gatekeepers. Custom security, full control over how your app verifies messages tailored to your needs. SVM expansion. Interoperability for everyone. Join expansion. Open intense framework. Intense for everyone with everyone. We got Unichain, Polygon, Arbitrum, Ethereum, Optimism, zkSync, Scroll, Caldera, I think, ENS, Gnosis, Biconomy, Hyperlane. I know this one, I forgot. Oh, Espresso, Hashi. Okay. A public good initiative to unify Ethereum with open permissionless intent, supported by the Ethereum Foundation lead and 30 plus leading teams on Ethereum. Community call. Okay. Hyperlane home. Nexus. Open USDT. Superbridge Renzo. Whoa, what are these? These are all projects. Hyperlane home. Hyperlane.xyz is the website. Okay. Interoperability for Eclipse, for Celestia, for Swell. Okay, so we are basically seeing all the L1 names. Hyperlane is the open interoperability framework to connect anywhere on chain. Start building. Build it for me. Build it for me. Okay. It is open source and permissionless, meaning you can build everything yourself. Check our docs. However, since service providers such as Abacus or other core development teams can handle the heavy lifting and build interoperability solution for you. Okay, interesting. Your project's link. I'm a chain builder, I'm an asset builder. What interoperability needs do you have? Share as much information as possible, such as environment, EVM, SVM, C-level, Cosmos, and our current blockers issues. What timeline do you expect to be live on mainnet? What is the best way to contact you? Interesting. So Beggars Works is also the team behind Hyperlane, and they can help with contract work. 100 plus chains connected, 5 billion plus value bridged, 5 plus VMs supported. VMs. This is Sui, Ethereum, zkSync, Aptos, Solana, Arbitrum, Base, Optimism. Connect your way, permissionless expansion, deploy now. Don't wait, DIY. Don't wait for other interop bridge providers to support your chain. Self-deploy Hyperlane out of the box. Network effects. Deploy Hyperlane once, connect to every future chain. Smooth bridging. With warp routes, connect any token with no slippage. Bridging that's affordable and fast. Own your interop. Generate yield and set subsidized fees on the bridging volume you relay. No lock-in with an entirely open source stack. Customizable security. Choose security modules that meet your evolving needs. Use your validators, set rate limits, and leverage $5 billion in economic security via the Hyperlane AVS. Deploy Hyperlane. Set up Hyperlane on your chain to receive and send messages anywhere in the network. Create warp route bridge tokens to and from your chain easily in a few CLI commands. Launch Warp UI, an out of the box UI for users to interact with your warp routes. Expansion. This is Eigen Layer. Oh yeah, we can do the next one. Eigen Layer is also an interesting company. Expansion. Explore expansion. Go into chain with Hyperchain, Hyperlane. Curious Twitter, Discord, Bounty. Let's see, Bounty. CCTP. We do not support message passing secured by Circle. There should be a CCTPism that can leverage that security. Should probably use CCIP read ISM to relay the CCTP message. Integrate ELISA OS with Hyperlane. Validators. And what's the engagement over here? Last week. Hyperlane DeFi Llama adapter. And brand. Okay, we go straight to Figma. Nice. We got all the spaceships over here. Okay. We got the planets. Okay. White chevrons. We got black chevrons. Connected by Hyperlane. Oh, that is cool. Okay. Brand assets. This is really cool. Okay. Expansion. Explore expansion. Discover the chains infra and apps building in the Hyperlane ecosystem. We got alt VMs, the open interoperability framework with extensions for execution environments beyond Ethereum. Cosmos Fuel, Move by Movement Labs. Rootstock, Solana Starkware. Liquidity. Cross-chain DeFi covering the breadth of the modular ecosystem. Everclear, Kalani, Mitosis, Skip, Stride. Infrastructure. Alchemy, OnClear, Caldera, Conduit, Gelato, Snapchain, Espresso, Eigenlayer, Data Availability, Celestia. Interesting. Start building. Okay. Very simple first page. Permissionless high interoperability protocol for cross-chain communication. Enables message passing and asset transfers across different chains without relying on centralized intermediaries or requiring any permissions. Why Hyperlane? Permissionless design means that anyone can deploy Hyperlane to any blockchain environment, whether it is a layer 1 rollup or app chain, and start building cross-chain applications. Right away, no approvals, no intermediaries. This gives developers full control over how their dApp operates in a multi-chain environment, removing bottlenecks and enabling scalability. Developers can use Hyperlane to permissionlessly deploy warp routes, contracts that allow any ERC20, ERC721 or native tokens to move effortlessly between chains. You can combine warp routes with a Hyperlane deployment to create economic trade routes between any chain and others already connected through Hyperlane. Really cool. Okay. And who was the founder? The founder was, tell me about, okay. Tell me the story of Hyperlane founders. Open interop for rollups, hyperchains vision for permissionless bridge across blockchains by Graython Asset Management. Okay, this was last year. In a world of Web3 where In a world of Web3, security and easily sharing data across blockchains is key. Bridges are crucial for overcoming interoperability challenges in the crypto space, connecting distinct blockchains to allow for token exchanges and improve liquidity. Last month, the combined transaction volume across all bridges surpassed $11 billion, underscoring their critical role in the industry. Cross-chain bridges do more than just move tokens. They enable a variety of operations from governance across blockchains to launching new tokens and enhancing gaming experiences. In a world of Web3, security and easily sharing data across blockchains is key. Bridges are crucial for overcoming interoperability challenges in the crypto space, connecting distinct blockchains to allow for token exchanges and improved liquidity. Last month, the combined transaction volume across all bridges surpassed $11 billion, underscoring their critical role in the industry. Cross-chain bridges do more than just move tokens. They enable a variety of operations from governance across blockchains to launching new tokens and enhancing gaming experiences. Arbitrary messaging bridges, in particular, open up possibilities for transferring a wide array of data, including tokens, contract executions, and NFTs, making diverse interactions across chains visible. Market opportunity. Making different networks work together smoothly has always been a big challenge. Usually, developers want their new blockchain to talk to others. They have to go through a long and often uncertain process of getting permission from the teams that manage these connections. This way of doing things tend to be slow and it could hold back growth, especially for newer, smaller projects that don't have much clout. Changing the game by making it easier for anyone to connect any blockchain network without having to wait for a thumbs up from some gatekeeper. This approach is called permissionless interoperability, and it's like opening the doors wide open for innovation. Now, developers can quickly link up their blockchain with others, speeding up the whole process and letting them focus on creating cool new things instead of waiting in line. What's more, Hyperlane lets developers pick and choose how secure their connections are. This is known as modular security. Instead of being stuck with a one size fits all security setup, developers can tweak it to fit their project perfectly. By making it so open and flexible, Hyperlane is paving the way for a future where blockchains can easily talk to each other, share information, and work together. And it's all happening in a way that lets the people building these projects have the freedom to innovate and secure their work on their terms. Hyperlane project overview stands out as the first open access layer for connecting any blockchain effortlessly. It allows developers to create interchain applications, simplifying the complexities of interactions between chains for users or any connected network. Moreover, its flexible security options let developers tailor the security needs. It's unique because it's open for anyone to use on any type of blockchain, be it a major network, a smaller rollup, or even a specific app chain. Comes with ready to use features like warp routes for easy token transfers across chains, interchain accounts for making contract calls from one chain to another, and interchain queries. Breaking the cycle. Warp routes are Hyperlane's way of enabling easy transfers of ERC20 or ERC721 assets between any chains using Hyperlane without needing permission. They let you set up trade routes between any chain and those already connected through Hyperlane. ERC20, collateral, mailbox, relayer, mailbox, ISM, Hyper, C20. Dispatch function, process function. early engineers at the decentralized finance platform Celo, along with Cole, who used to lead the venture investment business at Galaxy. The company is based in Greenwich, Connecticut. Circle and Hyperlane, Celestia and Hyperlane, Polygon, Nexus, Injective Ecosystem. I think I've heard of Injective Ecosystem. Competitors. Okay, so this company has done some good deep dive. Right now, the cross-chain space is still emerging, exploring various design approaches and consensus mechanisms where different protocols and dApps are experimenting in real time. Bullish fundamental factors. Vision is to deliver secure infrastructure for developing inter-chain applications safely. This initiative is supported by a robust team and enjoys strong backing. Injective has emerged as a leading project since the crypto market's recent upswing. Hyperlane facilitates effortless interoperability across various blockchain platforms, expanding the influence and effectiveness of Injective's dApps and assets. Coupled with Hyperlane's numerous partnerships and the buzz around a potential airdrop, could spotlight the protocol for broader adoption. The Hyperlane ecosystem is expanding rapidly with increasing integrations from the first quarter. Closing remarks. Nice. Okay. Classic tale of crypto veterans spotting a gap in the blockchain world and teaming up to fill it. John is a strategic mind of the trio, bringing a mix of technical insight and venture savvy. Mike Novogratz. He was co-head. Now I know why I've heard this name before. He was the co-head of venture investments at Galaxy Digital, a major crypto investment firm founded by Mike Novogratz. I forgot what their podcast is called, but Mike Novogratz is on a really good podcast. I think it's called Business Untitled? Maybe. It's a really good podcast. In Galaxy, Cole spent a year scouting and funding blockchain startups, giving him a front row seat to the industry's evolution and its pain points. He saw how interoperability was becoming a bottleneck as blockchains multiplied, fragmenting users and assets across silos like Ethereum, Solana, and countless rollups. His earlier career adds depth to his profile. He holds a computer science degree from Stanford class of 2014, where he likely honed his technical chops, and he worked as a software engineer at Palantir, the data analytics giant known for its complex systems. The blend of coding and high stakes investing gave him a rare perspective. He could both build tech and understand what makes it bankable. At Galaxy, he crossed paths with some of the brightest minds in crypto, which probably planted the seed for Hyperlane. Why just fund solutions when you can create one? Asa, technical heart of Hyperlane, a seasoned engineer with a knack for tuning big ideas into working systems. Before co-founding, she was an early employee at Celo, blockchain focused on mobile-first financial inclusion. He helped build core infrastructure, think smart contracts, and consensus mechanisms during its formative years, 2017 to 2020. Mission to make crypto accessible globally likely shaped thinking about interoperability. After all, a truly inclusive blockchain world needs chains to talk to each other seamlessly. Background is steeped in engineering rigor. He also graduated from Stanford around the same era as Cole, where he studied computer science and overlapped with a network of future tech innovators. Post Stanford, he cut his teeth in software development through specific pre-Celo roles. Those specific pre-Celo roles are less documented, likely a mix of startup gigs or freelance projects typical of a young engineer finding his footing. At Hyperlane, owns channels that experience into the nuts and bolts of the platform, like designing the mailbox contracts and interchain security models that make it tick. The systems architect rounds out the trio as another Celo alum, bringing a deeper understanding of blockchain architecture and system design. He was an early engineer at Celo, joining on 2017-2018 when the project was still a scrappy startup with big dreams. Worked on foundational tech there, possibly overlapping with Oins on smart contracts or protocol development, helping Celo scaled from a concept to a live network processing real transactions. Hmm. Technical pedigree is clear from his work. He's likely computer science grad, possibly Stanford too, with a career path that funneled him into crypto engineering early on. He's credited with co-architecting the system alongside Owens, focusing on the gritty details like making sure the protocol can handle 50 plus chains without breaking a sweat. Hmm. How they came together. Collision of shared experiences and common frustration. They didn't meet by chance. Crypto's small world and their paths likely crossed through Celo and Galaxy connections. Already a proven enduring duo from the Celo days grinding through the early chaos of a blockchain startup. Cole, meanwhile, was at Galaxy, watching interoperability projects like Wormhole and XLR gain traction but noticing the limitations: centralized, controlled, rigid security models, or slow adoption by developers. By 2122, the modular blockchain trend was heating up. Rollups, app chains, and layer ones like Solana were exploding, but they weren't playing nice together. Cole, with his investor lens, saw a market gap for a truly open, customizable bridging solution. Hmm. Cole brought the vision and a funding network, while Owens and Chu brought the engineering muscle to make it real. The birth. They founded Abacus Works and launched Hyperlane, starting with a simple premise: blockchain should be as interoperable as the internet. They bootstrapped the initial tech, mailbox contracts, a basic messaging protocol, and went public fast. They secured 18.5 in seed, led by Variant, Galaxy Digital, Cole's old stomping ground, Coin Fund, and others piling in. The cash fueled rapid growth, hiring engineers, auditing the code with firms like Trail of Bits, and integrating with chains like Ethereum, Cosmos, and Solana. Hit the ground running, supporting over 50 chains by late 24, empowering use cases from token bridges to cross chain gaming. Permissionless modular approach would outpace competitors in a multi chain future. The personal angle. Publicly, they are all business, no flashy exposed or tell all interviews. Cole is the most visible thanks to his Galaxy days, occasionally popping up with funding announcements or X mentions. Very interesting. Hmm. What do you want to know about Hyperlane? That is not mentioned here. Can someone explain to me the difference between Hyperlane and Layer 0? Who would use one versus the other? Okay. Top line use cases are quite similar: message passing networks that enable cross-chain assets and applications, but quite different approaches. Layer 0 has a permissioned deployment queue and is known for exclusivity agreements, 6 to 7 figure deployment fees in some cases, at mercy of the BD team if you are a new chain. Hyperlane is optimized for permissionless deployment and operation. Many teams deploy Hyperlane to a new chain and run it without needing to even contact Hyperlane core contributors because you have full stack customizability. There is no lock-in, and you can leave whenever you want. Hyperlane does have a core team that provides these services for you if you don't want to do it, while still giving you the customizability and ability to easily leave whenever for free. Hyperlane is a fully open source interop framework. This enables the creation of interop zones by external teams that want full control of the interop stack. Open source and clear documentation on adapting Hyperlane for new execution environments allows rapid VM expansion. Hyperlane SVM were all built by external teams for their own interop needs. Hyperlane is open interop. Layer 0 is closed interop. Hyperlane being available everywhere is what makes them stand out for me. Cosmos, SVM, EVM, or whatsoever. You can use Hyperlane anywhere, even though the tokens available for usage might be limited. The main thing is we can use it almost on all blockchains, which makes it so interesting and available to anyone to use no matter where you are coming from. Also admire the connection Hyperlane has built among different ecosystems, making it very easy to send messages across different ecosystems is really beautiful. You can move from Cosmos to EVM or Cosmos to SVM. Meanwhile, LZ can do that. I love both of you guys. Haha. You both have your use cases, and it's beautiful to see two companies like this leading the future of interop. The fact at which there is permissionless deployment feature on Hyperlane makes it slap harder. I can deploy my own bridge without a third party interference. Hyperlane has next level interoperability in terms of ease of access. So he's at Hyperlane. Okay. No sleeve John. Let's see. Ethereum Foundation announcing the open intense framework, ecosystem wide interop. The Ethereum Foundation and 30 plus top teams have finally rallied around an approach to unifying Ethereum, and it's built with Hyperlane. Expansion. It's interesting because one of the core principles of marketing is show, don't tell. The LinkedIn style of self marketing becomes critical when you have nothing to show for in your work. Hmm. Imitation is the finest form of flattery. Whoa, 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 what is happening over here? Can configure a custom security stack based on the specific needs. Okay. Okay, so they are direct competitors, so there will be some. We don't want to get into that, but let's see. The era of expressivity where performance is no longer a differentiator. The ability of a programming language or system to clearly and concisely express a wide range of computational ideas and logic. Introducing Macintosh for the rest of us. Blend or die. Community call. Okay. Hyperlane is now live on Sonic SVM. Wait, what did they say? For games and applications powering Web3 TikTok app layer, onboarding next billion users. Okay. Denver debrief. Arjun sits down with Nam, co-founder of Hyperlane, to unpack what went down. Oh, Arjun. I know Arjun. Interop, ACK, Leaf, I protocol. Okay, very interesting. Okay, interesting. It has to be open source, it has to adhere to crypto values. That is the only way to scale. Explains Hyperlane's open source ethos. And this is very interesting. Open framework. How you can bridge to hyper funds. What is it? Foundation fund? Foundation, hyper foundation, hyper EVM, Y Hyperlane. Launch alert. OUSGT. Open USGT. Tribune of the plebs. Tribune of the plebs. Excellence is the capacity to take pain. Okay. I like that. I like that. Everclear just cleared the first $100 million in volume. Okay. Let's see. What do we have about Hyperlane over here? Expansion doesn't stop. Love to see Gelato Network leverage the open framework to bring interop to all rollups. Okay, pretty cool. That was a great stream.